This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Welcome to Moments of Clarity with Tiffany Werner, licensed mental health counselor in the state of Florida. Moments of Clarity's mission is to educate and end the stigma on mental health through the inspirational stories of our exceptional guests. You can join in the show by calling Tiffany toll-free at 866-826-1340 or on Facebook and Twitter at MOC with Tiffany. Now, here's Tiffany Werner.
Hi, and thanks for listening. If you're just tuning in, this is Moments of Clarity. My name's Tiffany Werner. I'm a licensed mental health counselor, and I'm your host. I'm very excited to introduce my guest today. I like to organically find out what's going on with people that I interview while you guys find out at the same time. But she reassures me that she's a trauma survivor, and her first memory is something that one in very rare people go through, and I haven't guessed it yet, so I've told her not to tell me. But I'm excited to find out what it is, because story of survival is what we really highlight on this show, and how people do it, and coping skills, and overcoming tragedy, and overcoming trauma, and how we can strive from our learning experiences and from our mistakes and from our hardships and become better people and learn from them, learn from our experiences rather than be ashamed or be at fault or suffer with it. Anyway, I want to welcome to Moments of Clarity a special guest. She's calling in from Colorado, and she is an entrepreneur, and she has founded a company called Elevate Loud. We're going to hear more about it. She also opened an orphanage in Haiti after Hurricane Maria, and some fabulous things. And welcome to Moments of Clarity, Jen Goodhue.
Hi, Tiffany.
Hi.
So happy to be here.
I'm so happy that you're here. Like I was telling the listeners, I'm really excited to hear your story, and I'm going to hear it for the first time today with them.
So you haven't guessed it yet. Your first guess was tornado survival.
So just preface us with a little bit about what you're going to share with us.
My very first memory in life is something that is incredibly unique. I happen to be with both my mother and father. And so I guess if you don't have any more guesses, I'll just go ahead and let loose.
It's almost like we should have a call-in. But yeah, just go ahead.
Right. Okay, so I was 3 years old, and my dad is a pilot, and my first memory in life is surviving a plane crash.
No way.
Yeah.
Tell me what it was like. I was guessing, okay, for you guys, I was guessing tornado. I'm thinking of all she said 1 in 20 million, rare occasions that people go through this and survive it. And this was her very first memory. And
clearly a traumatic event. Much more traumatic for my mom. She absolutely abhors flying now. It's a really hard thing for her.
I bet.
But actually for me, I kind of let it fuel my passion for aviation. My dad still has his pilot's license, and that's how we got down to Haiti. We flew provisions down there to help open the orphanage, and
nice.
I remember, the really scary moments. The stall horn. Basically, what happened was it was a rental plane, so we had a cracked fuel line, and all of a sudden we were out of gas in midair. And
wow.
I remember the scary moments of the stall horn. I remember my mom being, kind of freaking out. I remember my parents hiding my face from the news cameras because it was in small town South Dakota. They have nothing else to cover. And then the most important thing was that my grandmother, who's quite possibly one of my most favorite people in the entire world, was that they had to make sure that they got me to her before she heard anything about it so that she could hold me, because otherwise she just would have been a mess.
Right. Yeah, especially if you're only 3. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So it's crazier knowing exactly everything else you've been through. I don't think I don't even want to jinx it, but I don't think there's anything that Jen hasn't been through. I don't know. But it's been through a lot. And for her to be who she is today, I admire her a lot. I want to welcome you guys to call in 866-826-1340. Once again, 866-826-1340. If you have any questions, we're also on Facebook Live. And if you have any questions for us, and you're welcome to call in and join us on the conversation. 866-826-1340. So, Jen, I'll give you the stage. You're wherever you want to start.
Yeah, so you're right. I've had to work my way through life of a lot of survivorship in many ways, but I'm also thankful for every single experience that I've had, because every experience has led me down another path or to introduce me to another person. I guess one of the biggest ones, and one that we were kind of going to focus on today for professional survivorship, was I built my marketing firm up and everything was going great. I was living in Southern California. I went through a terrible divorce. We don't need to get into that. We'll save that one for another day. There's plenty of stories there, trust me. Moved back to Colorado because I knew I needed to be closer to family, and decided that I was going to be open to love again. And, at that time, I met an amazing man who had never been, in a relationship, really. He had never had children, so he really adopted us in, and we adopted him in. And then suddenly and tragically, he passed away. So all of a sudden, here I am, 2 kids, single mom, dealing with being a widow, weird things like going to the doctor where they ask you your marital status, married, single, divorced, widowed, and it's like, oh, crap, I have to mark every single one of these boxes, So at the time, then I received an offer to sell my book of business under my company. It's really something that I wish 4 years ago I could go back and I didn't have to feel the need to do, that I could have stayed strong enough to keep going. But at that time, I really needed to just kind of release it and be mom and be me. And to be honest, I really did fall into a deeper depression than I ever even realized. I think a lot of the people around me saw it. But
so how did you become a widow, if you don't mind me backtracking?
So it was a culmination of things with Dave. His parents died very young. I will be very honest about his death. He worked in the bartending industry. That nightlife, that lifestyle, that culture certainly contributed to it. But basically, I was in Haiti at the time. I got a call from him. I told my dad we need to get home, so we flew the plane home. And he had a thumbprint-sized bruise on his thigh that turned into a football overnight. Got him into the hospital. He immediately went into the ICU. He, things were looking pretty gloomy, and he rebounded. So
what was the bruise from? What was it?
He has some internal bleeding going on.
Okay.
And I think, to be honest, he was hiding from me some health issues for quite a while. I wasn't, I knew that he was dealing with a little bit of depression himself because he had decided to depart the industry that he had been part of for so long. Mm-hmm. And so all of a sudden he felt like he didn't have purpose in life. And that's the one biggest wish that I wish that I could go back and fix, is that I could have caught it earlier, caught the depression, seen it and figured out a way to truly give him some sort of a different purpose.
Yeah.
So he had internal bleeding, then it led to liver failure, kidney failure, and ultimately heart failure. So we did
That's awful.
6 weeks in the ICU, 2 weeks in hospice. I never thought as a 30-year-old woman that I would be spending 2 weeks in hospice. It was tough. It really was. And losing someone you love at a young age, I think we all are prepared at some point to lose our loved one. But
not your spouse when you're 30. That's kind of caught off guard.
Right. So, that caused me then to kind of shift direction in business. And I had to battle my own depression. I had to get through it. There were some very harsh times where my parents sat me down and said, you're not even being a good mom. You're not being good to yourself. You need to be the Jen that we know. And
what were your symptoms at that time? Like, what were they witnessing from depression? Because most people think depression is only suicide. So,
okay, yeah. So certainly, I was not suicidal at all whatsoever. It was more just that I usually am a very early riser. I'm a very motivated person. I'm very ambitious. I care a lot about all the people around me. And so a lot of those things kind of slipped out of my life. And then simultaneously, I tried to go back into some of the passionate things that I found, such as, I love playing softball. I played competitive softball my entire youth career and then almost in college. And so I went back and tried to start being part of a team and camaraderie and made some mistakes there. Then I got involved in a relationship that was incredibly domestically violent, and my children couldn't be around it. So, it was a real slap in the face that my kids, honestly, they went to live with my dad for a year. I'm so thankful for it, where he let me reset, and my mom did too. My grandparents did too, my aunts and uncles. My family's amazing, and they all just said, you need to figure out who you are again, because you're not yourself.
And so that's this year?
Was that the fear?
Is that this year? This year that they're watching your kids?
No.
This was a while ago?
That was many years. That was about 3-4 years ago.
When you first lost your fiance?
Yeah, when I first lost him, and then in between when I got into a really bad relationship and when I needed to reset. But honestly, it's taken me a while, and there still are times where I have to be careful of my boundaries, or I have to be careful of certain behavioral things or things that I notice of, enabling patterns and things like that, and just really keep myself gut checked.
Gut checked.
Yep.
What does that mean?
Yeah. So, well, to me, that means just, I've been lucky now again to find, I know it sounds funny that it sounds like I've just moved from one man to another. That simply is not at all the way.
It doesn't sound like that. And nobody's judging you anyway.
Okay. I've been lucky enough to find an amazing man who truly is my partner in every way. He competed on the U.S. men's gymnastics team, so he's got a lot of tremendous talent. Also, he's a licensed physician, so he really understands a lot of that side of things as well. And so having a true partner that lives with you day in and day out, I think that makes a big difference. But also, really, it's tough, Tiffany, to work on yourself. And it's constantly a work in progress. You have to do it every day to be a better person.
And you have to find yourself worthy of it and put the time into it. And it's really hard to do that when we need it the most, during times of depression or during times when we feel the weakest. It's really hard to get up and going and put time into ourselves when we do need that extra lift.
Right.
That's when people avoid that kind of stuff. So, Jen, I know we're going to get into the thick of things, but it's going to take a second. We're going to take a break and pay some contribution to our sponsors, and we'll be right back with Moments of Clarity after this. Stay tuned.
You're listening to Moments of Clarity with Tiffany Werner. We welcome your input at 866-826-1340. Tiffany will be right back after this.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
BuildingBeyond.me is a community. We try to help animals, including the humans. We fundraise to buy oxygen pumps for babies, water and food for families, from dog food and veterinary surgery, from shoes to food to milk and diapers. BuildingBeyond.me.
SWAT Roofing would like to share some crucial information that is misunderstood by 60 to 70% of homeowners. Did you know that a damaged roof by hail or wind, in many incidents, can actually lower your premium instead of raising it when filing an insurance claim? After your new roof goes on, many premium-rated companies will want your policy to be with them and will offer the new incentives to get it. SWAT is a debt-free company with over 18 years in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. We believe in helping you fully understand the interpretation of your policy and the way it can work in your favor. Call today or go online at www.swatcontracting.com, or for a free roof inspection, call 214-449-9983. Did you know that your physical health plays a big role in your mental health? Healthy minds and healthy bodies go hand in hand. The problem for many is finding the time and getting the results they want. X-Force Body is perfect for people with busy schedules, with a mission to inspire you to become leaner, stronger, and in the process healthier. X-Force Body coaches will encourage, motivate, and inspire you through every workout, helping you achieve the results